We see things from Jinx's point of view in Arcane Season 2, Episode 2, which spends a large portion of its duration in the Undercity. Zaun is messed up. When Silco isn't around to try to make things better and bring the forces together, there are power struggles and gang fights. In contrast, Jinx is not a leader. Lost in her own wounded mind, she is an anarchist. She's grieving, just like Caitlyn. For Silco, who she had considered a father figure for a large portion of her life, all across Zaun, there are wanted signs for Jinx, who is evasive and most definitely not welcome. The Undercity isn't completely lawless though, as there appears to be a hierarchy of power, overseen by a rabble of big players in Zaun. At the head of the table is Sevika, who has her own score to settle with Vi. She wants to try and stop the turf war gripping Zaun and unite to take out the topside. However, one of the gangsters at the table is a guy by the name of Smeech. He's running with the Kembarons and admires Silco, wanting to be at the top of the podium. He suggests they hand over Jinx and stop an incoming war. He's clever, simultaneously showing a bolster of power as he demeans Sevika for her lack of outright strength and power without her gauntlet. Sevika, like Jinx, is also lost in this new world order. She strangely connects on Silco's disappearance from this world. They're both feeling the hole he's left in the Undercity and neither really know how to handle this. Jinx is happy to watch it all burn, thriving within the chaos, while Sevika is in this makeshift leadership role, trying to keep the gangs from tearing each other apart. However, she's still unclear how to lead and unify the gangs. Victor awakens from his Hextech cocoon and tentatively hugs Jace. He can feel a charge deep within him and he's seemingly connected to the Hex core now on a more spiritual level. Victor is conflicted though. He was supposed to die and he's not particularly enthused over the fact that he's kept alive by the very thing he wanted to destroy. As a result, Victor decides to walk away from everything. An unlikely little bromance brewing here stems from Heimerdinger and Echo. Still within the ranks of the Firelights, they show up at Jace's lab. They notice that there's corruption within the Hex core, and it has reached all the way to the Firelight HQ, so they're trying to figure out how to fix it. Speaking of reaching, Vi, Caitlyn and the rabble of special enforcers show up in Zaun. They walk right into Jinx's hideout but with no sign of her. Caitlyn is angry. As for Jinx though, she's scared and crying. And as she heads into the alleyway, she finds herself confronted by Smeech. The latter is taken aback when he finds out Jinx was the one who killed Silco, and their momentary lapse sees them saved by an unlikely source, Sevika. This really is an episode of unlikely alliances, and both Sevika and Jinx work together to take out Smeech's goons. Oh, and Sevika also has a new gauntlet too, courtesy of Jinx's handiwork. Obviously it has an array of little trinkets, but she gets the hang of it quite quickly and eventually kills Smeech outright, bathing herself in green blood. Meanwhile, Victor finds himself in the company of those in the darkest recesses of the city. He manages to heal one of them. And uses the Hex core for good, as he's looked at as a messiah among these people. Isn't this episode truly about improbable alliances? The theming here is pretty good, from Caitlyn and Vi showing up at Special Enforcers to Jinx and Sevika joining forces for Zaun. There are similarities between this episode and the first one, specifically in the way our characters must attempt to cooperate in order to find a new path through the turmoil and the order that exists within the chaos. As insane as Jinx's mentality is, the episode does a good job of illustrating it, as well as how she and Sevika are both grieving Silco's passing in different ways. Silco was like a father figure to her, even if Jinx was the one who had pulled the shot. The main narrative also experiences additional drama, as Smeech, who tries to win the throne, meets a messy finish. Nobody knows for sure what this might entail for the people of Piltover, but the hint of a higher power and a huge terrible coming into play is undoubtedly a nice tease. That concludes our review for today, but the discussion is far from over. For more, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more videos. Keep the magic of movies alive until the next time, signing off from FK Bytes.